Hello there. Thanks for joining me again for this edition of your Sorrowway Sports Business Show, Sport Exchange. My name is Jide Olano. On today's show, we'll be talking about the development of the game. Sports generally needs development, and also we will be looking at innovation and technology. Technology is disrupting the game of sport, especially for those who are lovers of esports. There is something that this Nigerian is doing. Spotlight, Searchlight was able to find this particular young Nigerian that is doing something fantastic, and we think we should bring it to you and we should let you know. This is what we'll be looking at today. Two people will be in the dugout with me today on the show, and we'll be looking at what they are up to. These are some of the things that you will enjoy as far as the show is concerned. We're going to break now, and when I return, it will be time to take on our innovator.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back, straight to the business of the day. We meet my first guest in the dugout. And my first guest is it's one man, a young man who is driving the first ever African-based football video game mode. And it's also doing it by building a community, starting with Nigeria. Of course, what is he building? He's building the Nigerian Professional Football League game mode in modification, trying to what you see abroad, what you see with the Premiership and some other global leagues. He wants to replicate it in Nigeria. This is a novel idea, and our Searchlight found this young Nigerian, and we decided to have him on the show. You know, this sport is about business, innovation, and of course, technology is driving some massive investment into the ecosystem. And I feel that we should talk to this young Nigerian. Joining me is a software developer, he's a content creator as well, his hands up, and of course, an animator. So many things wrapped in one. Is this genius that is on your screen? He joins me from Lagos. His name is Victor Dania. Victor, how are you? Thanks for joining me on this show.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure being here today too. I'm glad to be here.
Right, great. It's always a pleasure to let Nigerians know what you are up to. And Victor, let's talk about you briefly. What's your background like? Because, like I said, many things rolled into one. Just you, a developer, an animator, and content, you produce content, and you know, so many things. Can you run us through your background?
Okay, so my name is Victor Danian. Okay, I'm from Kebbi State, Nigeria. I was born in Ogun State, and I live in Ogun State now. Okay, so I went to Covenant University. I studied in Covenant University. So while I was in school, I was able to learn a lot of these things because I had passion for first beat making of beats, but later I was able to get my hands on a camera, and I just had passion for creating videos, creating content, editing, and all. So I took that up and brought up Pixel Media, and we were able to form a team after that. And so as I started video editing, I was able to branch into other aspects, as using After Effects for animating and using other softwares, CorelDRAW, and some other things. So with that, I was able to just be where I am today. I guess best.
Wow. And you left football. Why the Nigeria Professional Football League? What actually pushed you into developing this particular game, the first ever African-based football video?
All right. So we first started in school. I'm a goalkeeper in school. I played. There's a competition that happens in our school, Covenant University Premier League. So I played there and played other competitions. But I saw that football is just more than the game. There are a lot of things that happen in different aspects of football, even though we play locally, that we still see on TV. There's some banger goals that have been scored on TV that somebody has done in a local league, somebody has done it somewhere around us, and we just see it and oh, it's just like this guy's goal. It's just like that. So on our course of covering, we started covering the Covenant University Premier League after graduation. So in the course of covering it, we just thought of why don't we take this a step further? Okay, why don't we like okay, yeah, we are covering a university league. Why can't we do other things that can make these footballers feel like the elite? If you know, for those that play FIFA and PES, you know that it's only the clubs that are up there that gets to be in this game. So why can't we just create our own for our own Africa, like for our continent? You know, so a lot of things were put in place since 2018. We started thinking of how to develop this. 2019 we started up and we have gone a long way. So we just feel that this is the time for everyone to see what we have done so far, and we're still going to add a lot to this. This is just the starting point. We're going to go across a lot of platforms so that everybody can have their hands on this. And so, and that's why we just put the Nigerian Premier League first. Let's start from our home before we go to other countries.
Victor, the process of developing this, I know it would have taken you time and, putting everything into this. How did you arrive? For example, the sample on on the screen we just saw that it's there. I know a lot of work would have gone into it, getting the players, and how do you arrive at, because I know there will be need for all the popular players, need to know them, need to know where. So just run us through how did you arrive at that particular image that we just showed?
Okay, so first of all, we wanted to create, like I said, wanted to create something for Nigerians. So we want to start with the Nigerian Premier League.
Okay.
So the first thing we had to do was to research about the Nigerian Premier League because I myself I didn't even know much about the Nigerian Premier League, and that's most of the youths nowadays don't even know anything about the Nigerian Premier League. So and during our research, we were like, okay, this is very interesting. We read about the history, we knew about Leventis and the rest that I do that are not existing right now. So we now say, okay, first of all, we need the clubs. Okay, how many clubs are in NPFL? The NNL, we got to know about it. We got them. We need their imaging. We have to change get the player names, get the database. So we have to go around. So the information part is even the smaller part. Then developing it, we had to do a lot of coding, changing stuff that was already made by the game developers, learning how to crack the game first, and eventually cracking it and unlocking aspects of the game that no one has really thought of. And okay, generally mods are just created to um, like most mods online, just change one aspect. Okay, so we are just now this one we just say okay, let's go further, let's change the whole game so that anyone that gets this one will know that it's just purely African. So a lot of things have gone down, a lot of coding, a lot of changing, a lot of learning, a lot of challenges along the line, and this particular one we just used after we have developed it to an extent, we just fused it with our editing skills we already know, and we're able to bring this out. So that's what brought about the final image that we just pushed out.
Uh, I know that, of course, looking at May 13 is the day you guys have set aside to unveil this. How ready are you guys?
Yeah.
Because I know that data is very critical. You need to get your acts together. And people might just think,
Yeah.
is it just not about, is the modification of what people that is, that's been there. So really there's no need for
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
expansive work to be done and all that. But you guys have set May 13 to launch. How is it coming up?
Yes, we are still on track. So um, we want to first of all allow people to see what you have done. So the good thing about this mode is that once you get it, there are updates that are going to be given with time. Okay. So now, um, we have used our own knowledge of the league to build this. So we want to give it out to the community. So that's what we want to now build, a community. Because if we give this, when we give this out to everyone and they see it, all right, when there will be more accuracy in the game. Because imagine a Crown FC player or a Crown FC fan sees Crown FC. Okay, we build it to the best of our ability. Okay, he now says, oh, this person is left-footed, not right. All those tiny details that will make the game even more interesting and more accurate will come from our community. That's why we're trying to build a community around this. So we have to show the community what we have done so far so that they can in hand help us build this better. Right. So that is, and the development stage too. We are still working to make it as accurate as possible, going through some tests with some people we already know and making everything try and work out fine.
All right, so I understand also because I know that it's just like a product, that has the various stages. And one of the things to really help a product is when you build a community that, have a first-hand experience, and of course you get your feedback, and it helps you to develop the feedback helps to develop the program further. And it's talking about the community now, because that stage is a very critical stage. How do you make sure that people come on board? You get the wagon to form the community of those who will look at the minimum viable products the way it is right now.
Yes. So the community is Telegram based. Okay, everybody's. We have a link on our bio, and we try to post it as much as possible to join our Telegram base. Okay, and some of the features, the things our community members get to enjoy is uh, they themselves, being football fans, they get to be in the game, just like you. Like you now, you can actually be in the game and be able to play with yourself in the game. So we want people to also feel a connection between them and having this game, and also we want they get behind the scenes of how we develop the stuff, things we are doing. They're the ones that actually get the first information before we put it out on any of our social media platforms. So they're like our, let me just put it called VIPs, and so we just try as much as possible in all of our posts to tell people that okay, we have a community, make this better. If you want to do be part of the game, as create your avatar, you can do this. If you want to let your voice known and actually um, be part of the creation process, you can join the community. And I don't know if you have seen some of those cards that are going on our pages. Okay, player cards. We have not actually rated them yet because ratings will be one of the most controversial parts. Because a player that we feel that okay, this guy is very good, another person will be like, oh, why is he rated this? You get so the community will also help us with that. Those that watch him very well. We have another set of people and statisticians that will help us with this. So we try as much as possible to push all these things out. Like I was saying about the cards, it was the community members that were able to vote which cards will come out. So that's just reasons why I should join a community and how we are trying to manage it so that more people will join.
All right. Okay. I want to wish you all the best, Victor. I think this is where we leave it. And this is just like a product. It's developing. It's going to go a full cycle. And definitely, I want to assure you that feel free anytime to let us know. And we will follow the story. We will continue to tell the story of this great thing happening through you. We support you, and we wish you all the best and the team. And hopefully, May 13 is just round the corner. We will monitor how the public will receive this great innovation. Wish you all the best, Victor. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was the developer of the NPFL game mode. Yeah, the first ever African-based football video game. I wish him all the best. We're going to break now, and up next is we'll be talking about the next summit. Also, so many things happening in May, and this time around is Let's Develop the Game Summit that is happening. We're talking to the brain behind this particular summit.
fantastically finished.
All right. Thank you very much once again. Yeah, it's still on the show. We're still talking about how to develop the ecosystem, sport ecosystem. And my second guest in the dugout now is the latest FIFA mediator in town. That's Beverly Agbakova Onyejanya joins me somewhere in Lagos. Beverly, great to see you and congratulations once again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, of course. Good. Always a pleasure to have you because we can never have enough of you. And with this new position, with this new position, what does it mean for us as Nigerians? Let's
As
start from there.
Nigerian, well, I mean, okay, what I would say is for Nigerians, it shows that, we're not all bad. The PR, the negative PR out there, especially in sports of late, I think the last time I came on this show, we're talking about athletes, we're talking about, just some of the integrity issues in the industry. And it's actually nice, and I feel so honored that they said, look, you're good enough to be picked out of so many people. I can't even tell you how many would have applied, but out of hundreds of people, I was selected into a committee of mediators in the newly created football tribunal, FIFA football tribunal. So it's I think it means a lot. I want to hope that this would mean a lot to other people who want to pursue a career in sports mediation or in sports dispute resolution, to begin with. We don't have enough opportunities to do that in Nigeria. We don't, and it's part of the reason why I'm always so passionate talking about dispute resolution in sports, talking about development in sports, because these are all intertwined. When you get the integrity part right, then you technically have less disputes. But the truth of the matter is, even in the most organized some countries, they still have dispute resolution. They still have quite a good number of disputes. So it just tells you that if you want to develop an industry, not only do you need to get your administration right, you also need to make sure that the access to justice, disciplinary reviews, etc., are all in order, grievance procedures. Because if you don't have those supplementary procedures, then it undermines the work that we put into developing sports. So yeah, it's exciting. I hope it encourages other people to apply. I know people have been asking me, you need to let us know. And sometimes I think, oh my gosh, I hope no one felt like I just kind of did it and didn't tell people. I think it was the first time FIFA set up such a thing. Normally you talk about the Court of Arbitration for Sports when it comes to disputes, but you see, that's why we need to keep on evolving, developing our A game, because no institution, no organization, no country is perfect. You have to keep on evolving. So I'm really, really happy that I'm now part of, an organization globally, even if it's just from an appointment perspective, that recognizes that there is a need to implement new procedures, to do things differently. Clearly, the number of disputes is growing. I think right now, when we did our training, they mentioned about 1,800 disputes.
Wow.
It's a crazy number of disputes.
Wow.
And you think to yourself, 1,800 disputes, and the number is potentially rising. You need manpower and woman power to deal with these disputes. So it tells you how many disputes do we have here at home in Nigeria that go unheard, unresolved, never see the light of day. So it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Wow.
A football tribunal, and it's something that we've been advocating for at home, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. We need, even if it's an Africa-wide tribunal for sports or specialized tribunals for different sports in Africa, so we can take ownership of the way we do things. So we're not always sort of relying on the international platforms, which are brilliant. But I'm just saying, let us take a step, let us take a cue and do things at home as well, implement and set up things at home as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Beverly. Let's come back to the Let's Develop the Game Summit. You are the initiator of this particular summit, and what actually prompted it?
I think passion speaks for everything I do. I feel like there's no point. Sometimes it takes a mass movement of different people to really have a transformative experience and process. And it's very well and good to all of us are in our different areas. So you are in media, I'm in dispute resolution and youth development. Madam Nkechi Obi is in administration and media. We're all doing different things in our different ways, but there is a power in bringing people together. When collective voices come together, it's heard more. We create a movement. People take notice. People ask, "Oh, what's going on? What are they talking about? It must be important." Change comes when many people are willing to, try and do things differently together, simultaneously. So I've always been a big believer in networking. People know that I love to network. I love to connect with people. And one of the things I love about sport is it truly connects people from all walks of life, brings people together. And I mean, if we have what better purpose is sports development? How do we develop the game in not just Nigeria? We're talking Africa. Like, I'm looking beyond Nigeria now. How can African states really, really make that difference? How can they all bring their A game so we're operating as a collective force? So the whole purpose of this Sports Business and Development Summit is to address many of the challenges we've been facing in sports, from administration to gender discrimination. How do we increase participation of people in marginalized areas, people who have religions that maybe have created a perception that sports is not for women. Dispute resolution is still a major problem. I cannot tell you the number of people who have come to me that have complaints, disputes, issues, genuine issues, and they have no recourse to a solution. Careers cut short. It's really disheartening. Education, training as well is another thing. Many people want to experience better quality sports education. To be honest, we're lacking here in Nigeria. I can't speak of other African countries. The standard of sports training in Nigeria is not very good. I know there's been talks and word on the grapevine that there's a move to create a sports university. I've been hearing that. I mean, I'll be pretty excited if that happens, but for the time being, we have private universities, business schools like Lagos Business School that host these specialist sports programs, but there's not enough. We're talking about a transformative experience and process whereby we can, educate millions, we can empower people to come into the industry. So in a nutshell, this summit is to bring to the fore all the various aspects of sports business and the different aspects of the industry, proffer solutions, because it's all about solutions. We're not just going to come and just raise issues and challenges. We want to talk about how can we overcome these obstacles? How can we do things differently? How can we do things better? And hopefully we'll have a great time and make some new connections and really, kickstart some new things. So that's the whole essence, really.
Beverly, it's really surprising how you were going on and on and on. And I remember before we came on air what it was like. What great to see the spirit. You have given it taking me all through the way. I know it's going to be on the 11th and 12th of May, just a few days from now.
Yes.
It's going to be virtual.
Yes.
Initially, it was meant to be a hybrid event, virtual and physical presence.
Yes.
But that means that we should look forward to it. So if you want to be part of it quickly before we wrap things up, because I have to go now,
All right.
how
So
can people join? How can
if you want to be a part of this, you need to register online. It is 100% virtual, but if you are in Lagos on the 10th and you've registered for the summit, you can come attend the sports networking cocktail. It's super important that we have physical engagement. So there is still going to be a personal, physical opportunity to interact with other members of the sports industry. But for those of us who can't make the cocktail, it's going to be on the 11th and 12th, 2 days, 19 speakers, 9 panels, engaging. If you check out Set Summits, www.setsummits.org, I believe it is. Otherwise, you can always just check it out through my firm's website, which is www.oal.law. You can also follow me on Twitter. I've been posting and talking about it. My handle is at MaxXYB, MaxXYB. So please register. It's going to be super engaging. There's nothing else like it. I'm happy to say this is the biggest and most talked about sports business and development summit right now in Africa. Nothing else is happening like this. So if you want to learn from the best, if you want to interact, network, then you need to be there online.
Beverly, thank you very much. I hope that we will have an after summit conversation.
We will.
We will have that at some time. Thank you very much. That's FIFA mediator, joining me, Beverly Agbakoba Onyeji Jianya, talking to me about the upcoming summit. Let's develop the game summit, sports business and development summit. Okay, hope to see you there too. All right, before we go on the show today, congratulations to the the Nigerian Women Football League. Of course, they just signed a partnership deal with Token Energy Resources Limited for the NPFL Premiership Super 6. I understand the Super 6 winner goes home with 6 million naira, runner-up 3 million naira, third place 2 million naira. The future of the game is becoming feminine. Okay. On that note, thanks for joining me. Gidi Olano is my name. See you some other time.